Hey guys, welcome back to TST's Reviews and Stuff. And today we'll be doing a 3-month later review on the vanilla iPhone 13. In this video, I'll be going through all the different features of the device, which include the build quality, display, speakers, Face ID, battery life, performance, cameras, the overall software experience, and its role in my small but sufficient enough Apple ecosystem. So starting with the build quality, it's no surprise that the iPhone 13 feels exceptionally premium to a great degree due to the choice of materials used and the iconic squared off design that got introduced with the iPhone 4. The phone has aluminum sides with glass on the back, which is perfect to find the right balance between the weight and the feel of the phone, making the regular 13 have a premium in-hand feel whilst maintaining the overall weight of the phone, unlike the Pro models, which in my opinion do feel more luxurious but quite heavy for most users. I find the squared off design to be very comfortable as opposed to the rounded off edges found on older iPhone models and mostly all Android phones. In terms of durability, the iPhone has held up quite well with no scratches on the back, camera module, and aluminum sides. However, I use a tempered glass screen protector from Spigen because I don't wish to take chances with the display that, according to multiple users, is not very scratch resistant despite having the ceramic shield, which only makes the glass crack resistant. I highly recommend you invest in a good tempered glass screen protector and a case to keep the phone free from scratches or any scuffs that may appear from accidental drops or regular use. Now let's move on to the display quality, and I have to be honest, it's just so good. The display is super bright as it has 800 nits of brightness and the colors are very accurate thanks to Samsung's OLED displays used over here, which Apple refers to as Super Retina XDR OLED displays, which also has support for HDR10 and Dolby Vision. This makes watching movies on Netflix satisfying and magnificent. While viewing HDR content, the display reaches the peak brightness of 1200 nits, which is extremely convenient for viewing under direct sunlight. The cherry on the top is the 460 pixels per inch density, which makes the text very sharp and crisp in terms of appearance. Unfortunately, it does not support 120Hz refresh rate, which is disappointing because at this price, you should expect a phone with a high refresh rate support, especially a device from late 2021. I know that Apple reserved it for the Pro lineup to justify the Pro price tag, but still, I wish they would at least bring a 90Hz refresh rate for the regular 13 and 13 mini. I hope that the high refresh rate tech will be a standard across all future models of iPhones. But what good is watching great content without great speakers? I'm happy to say that the stereo speakers of the iPhone 13 are extremely loud and clear. The bass is very much present and the mids and highs are well balanced. Not only that, but the volume levels are well calibrated, which means that there is no sudden increase or decrease in the volume irrespective of the volume level for which you're reaching. This makes watching movies or YouTube videos a very immersive experience and complete. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the sound quality, and in my opinion, it is one of the best stereo speakers you can find on any flagship device to date. Unfortunately, there is no headphone jack, so you have to use a dongle if you wish to use wired headphones or just switch to Bluetooth alternatives. In terms of security, the iPhone 13, just like its predecessors, offers Face ID as the only form of biometrics paired with 4 or 6 digit PIN. But the Face ID is simply too good. It works just as expected thanks to the special hardware stored in the notch like the dot projector, flood illuminator, and infrared camera. It works at various angles and is nearly impossible to get past the face recognition without putting your phone in front of your face. It uses machine learning which learns your face with time and can unlock even faster, even while wearing sunglasses, hats, or specs. However, many polarized sunglasses won't work well as they interfere with the Face ID sensors. In my case, my Ray-Ban aviators were not working, but the similar aviators from Ray-Ban with the green tint were working just fine. However, you can overcome that issue easily by turning off the required attention for Face ID option. But do keep in mind that this will make the Face ID a bit less secure. So if you have the iPhone 13 and wish to buy new sunglasses in the future, make sure that those specific lenses work with the Face ID. Having said all that, I really miss the fingerprint sensor, especially while we are living in the age of masks. Apple could have easily implemented the fingerprint sensor on the power button, just like they did with the iPad Air 4 and the iPad mini. But they didn't. This is probably because with iOS 15.4 beta, Apple added the option to use Face ID with masks, which is just incredible. This also shows that Apple is highly confident with the Face ID technology, which, let's be honest, is way better than any other face unlock systems on any other smartphone. I personally haven't tried it on my iPhone since I haven't installed a beta profile, but knowing Apple, it should be pretty good in terms of consistency. Having said that, I'd still love to see a fingerprint sensor on the future iPhones embedded on the power button. In my opinion, that would be just perfect. Now let's talk about battery life. I'm again happy to report that the battery life of the iPhone 13 is just amazing. It can easily last me a day with around 20% battery left. Despite having just 3227 mAh battery, the overall battery life is extremely magnificent. However, don't expect it to have great battery backup out of the box because the phone learns your usage patterns and this process takes a while. For me, it took nearly a month, but the wait was worth it. According to the device, I'm getting well over 7 hours of screen on time on average, which is just incredible. On some days, I even managed to get 9 to 10 hours. If that's not mind-blowing, then I don't know what is. Also, just like all other flagship phones, you get wireless charging, but the charging speed is capped at 7.5 watts, just like the 12 series, which is way slower than the competition. So keep that in mind before buying the phone. What is the other thing that I just love about this device? It's easy. The cameras. The camera quality in terms of both videos and photos is simply outstanding. We all know that the iPhone 13 doesn't have crazy megapixels like 48, 64 or even a massive 108. However, that doesn't matter at all. Apple's computational photography has really caught up and it has improved so much that this can easily become my only phone to take any pictures at any given point in time. The pictures are razor sharp and with near identical colors and great contrast. However, sometimes you might notice a shift in white balance in very complex lighting, but it nails the colors 98% of the time. You even get an option to choose different photographic styles, and not only that, you can even adjust the tone and warmth, which is great to have, but I prefer the default option. The real game changer is the night mode. It is absolutely amazing. The pictures come out super bright while maintaining accurate colors. Thanks to the much bigger sensors introduced by Apple on the 13 series, we can capture beautiful night shots. However, keep in mind that there is no astrophotography mode unlike the Pixel phones, which is a bummer. Now you also get an ultra-wide camera, but I wanted to share my opinion on the ultra-wide camera. It's definitely nice to have, but I have rarely used it. I know that it can be useful to take much wider shots of the environment, which may include buildings, group photos, etc. But the result of the ultra-wide camera is just decent. The overall quality is pretty good in daylight, but terrible in low light. There is no OIS, which means even a slight movement while taking a photo can produce blurry images. Since this is an ultra-wide camera, the edges are distorted, which is absolutely normal. But these photos can't be used in certain situations because of the aggressive curvature around the edges. For me, a telephoto lens would have been way more useful, even if it would be just a 3 times optical zoom. It would still be way better than digitally zoomed pictures, and I've personally encountered situations where I badly needed a telephoto lens. So if you're one of those people who care a lot about telephoto lens, be ready to spend way more on the Pro models. The front camera is also pretty good and has all the bells and whistles. However, the real deal is the video capability. And guys, I don't even know what to say because the video recording capability is just too damn good to be true. This is without a doubt my favorite thing about the iPhone 13. You can record videos up to 4K 60 FPS on all cameras, which is already a huge plus, and the 13 takes it to the next level with the cinematic mode. Cinematic mode is like portrait mode, but it's extremely well executed on the iPhone. Although it's restricted to just 1080p 30 fps, the videos come out so beautiful that it makes your videography skills appear like a pro. I'll make it simple for you. If you take a lot of videos and want the phone with the best video quality, consider the iPhone 13. All things considered, the iPhone 13 has a great package to offer in terms of cameras, and you just can't go wrong with it. Of course, we can't review a phone without talking about its performance, and it's not surprising that the iPhone 13 is a monster. The A15 Bionic SoC is still the champ according to the Geekbench scores, but for the sake of simplicity, I won't dive into all the tech specs. All you need to know that it's one of the most powerful SoCs on the market with insane power efficiency. There is no lag or hiccup while using the phone daily, even when you try to push it in certain CPU or GPU intensive tasks. The game experience is phenomenal on the iPhone 13. I play Call of Duty Mobile on this phone and the overall gaming experience is buttery smooth with no lag at all. You can easily run this game at max settings and this phone won't even break a sweat. But the credit doesn't solely go to the SoC itself. Instead, the real MVP here is the software. Now I can turn this video into a full movie if I had to discuss iOS in great detail. To keep it short, I'll be discussing only those things that actually matter. iOS in general does lack quite a few features in comparison to some Android OEMs like always on display, split screen multitasking, and a lot more. But with the recent updates, many features have been added which has made the overall experience of using an iPhone even better. However, the real reason why so many people love iPhones is because of the OS. The stability and consistency of iOS is something that Android has been trying to beat, but it's still not that close. I have used Android phones all my life, so I know what I'm saying. You gotta give credit where it's due, and I'm giving Apple the same for that. Gesture navigation is super smooth and consistent all across. There isn't any weird transparent bar around the navigation bar on the apps and the web pages, unlike Android, which still does, and in general, everything else seems to be as if they were meant to be like that and are not just add-ons. One of the best things which every iOS user loves is animations and transitions. You can argue all day about how one can decrease the animation speed in Android under development settings, but that still cannot come close to the silky and buttery smooth animations all across the operating systems on the iPhones. It's literally a huge icing on the cake with the cherry on the top. Lastly, the ecosystem is the real deal. I can put my phone on silent and it may be in another room, but if I have my iPad or MacBook nearby, I can easily answer the phone call from those devices without any issues. How cool is that? And AirDrop is probably the best thing that makes the overall user experience on iOS immensely satisfying. However, does that mean that iOS is truly the one and only bug-free OS? Nope, not even close. There are quite a few hidden issues and not so widespread bugs. AirDrop, which is one of my favorite features, does encounter some hiccups, which in that case does require the phone to be restarted. It works 98% of the time, but when it doesn't, it becomes a headache. There are quite a few apps that ironically work better on Android in my opinion, especially WhatsApp. I don't even know what to say, but it's just bad. The app crashes quite often, especially while scrolling extremely fast under the stickers tab, and this specific issue might not be a big deal for some. But if you're one of those people who often take part in sticker wars in groups, iOS is going to be a headache for you as the moment you start spamming, the app freezes and crashes, even if you're not the one spamming in the group chat. I have experienced this multiple times and it just sucks because you can't do anything about it. Not only that, but adding a new sticker to the present packs does not override the old one. Instead, it creates a duplicate pack which is so annoying as you're then left with duplicates and you'll have to regularly delete them. Another thing which I have noticed is that uploading pictures or videos on the status and sharing files and stuff with your contacts is pretty slow on WhatsApp in comparison to Android phones. Apart from true dark theme on WhatsApp for iOS, everything else pretty much sucks, which is unfortunate. I hope that WhatsApp development team for iOS takes these issues into consideration. Hopefully things will get better with time as far as WhatsApp is concerned. I experienced a bug in YouTube where auto rotate doesn't work properly and I'm unable to jump into full screen mode. Instagram also has its own issues with the volume on reels and stories where just by changing the volume level, the sound simply turns on or off, which is extremely frustrating. In terms of gestures, the only gesture I can think of that doesn't work the way it was intended to is the back tap gesture, which can be mapped to any specific function. It is very inconsistent and it needs a lot of improvement. Because of the inaccuracy in registering the tap, I have missed many epic photo opportunities, which really sucks. I hope Apple pays attention to this issue and makes the gesture even more responsive. So, this was my overall experience of using iOS and the Apple ecosystem in general. The positives do outweigh the negatives, but I want iOS to have that it just works factor back just like the previous iOS versions. With the new features and maturity, iOS has been infected with such bugs, and I wish Apple focuses on all these small but annoying issues which would make iOS a true stable operating system just like it was in the past. So overall, I'm quite happy with the iPhone 13. It's pretty much an all-rounder and excels in many key areas like build quality, battery life, cameras, haptics, etc. At the moment, it's quite expensive, so I'd suggest checking out bank offers and instant cashback, or just wait for 3 to 4 months, as by then hopefully the prices might drop, or maybe even when the iPhone 14 launches, you might see some pretty decent sales. So guys, that's pretty much it with this review. If you want to share your thoughts on this phone, go ahead and hit me up. And if you like this video, you know the drill, you know what to do, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.